Awesome. Okay. Hey, thanks, Samir. That was very kind of you to say that. But I've mentored a lot of people, as you have, Samir, and Shaq, and everybody who has anything to do with developing people in this business. And you realize that you can say the right words to a lot of people, but only a few of them are ready to take those words and do something with it. And you guys have always been, and you, Samir, have always been someone who takes the words and takes the lesson and and asks great questions and then does something with it. And man, I'm proud to be in business with you. I'm listening to. I know Shaq's doing the other meeting over there, and Rod, man, amazing job. Good to see another guy in his 60s kicking butt, teaching the young ones how to do it. Nice job, Rod. I'm 60. I'll be 62 in May, and man, I feel great. I can tell. I don't say it because I'm trying to impress you guys. I know living your life in the direction that you choose to do it, not being told to do it, and being able to have a thought process that was developed in this business. When I was listening to Jen talk about, the whole mind, setting your mind up. Look, I've been doing this business for 38 years. I know it seems crazy even to say that out of my mouth because I'm almost twice as old as some of you in that room there. I don't feel it. And that's the best thing I could tell you is that, a lot of people look at people in front of them that have done what they've done and or done what they want to do. And they say, well, but I wouldn't want to be that person. I have always looked at people in Primerica when I was brand new, 23, not knowing anything about this business. And I was so grateful. I mean, truly grateful, not only that we do the right thing, and we do, and we've always done the right thing. That's nothing new. And when I saw what we did, I knew that, right? But I was so grateful and hungry for me, and I know anybody's leading here is the same way, is to have mentors, to have people that were someplace that I was not in my life, and that would pour themselves into me. Why? Well, because if I did better, they did better. Okay, they all had a financial interest in me doing well, but it also allowed us to build a personal relationship. And if you know anything about life, you don't have to be very old to know it. Your boss or the owner of the company that you're working for, whatever it is, does not want you to take their position. Okay. They don't want you to have their income because then they wouldn't have their income. That's how it works. It's not bad. That's not negative. That's life. And this was the first place I ever came to that I saw that reminded me internally of a sports team, in that coaches want their players to play better and even better than them, because when the coaches correctly and the players do better, the whole team wins. And I had never been in a business environment, not that I've been in a lot of them, but I'd never been around anything I got that feeling that I was in the locker room, that I couldn't wait to get to the locker room. And it doesn't have to be sports. It could be anything that you've ever been associated with that fires you up. And so, and I'm listening to this training, and I would say this is like perfect. I mean, I don't like the word training, though it is training, right? Because it's a combination of excitement, because people are excited about their lives. It's not excited about, I love Primerica. I love mentors who help me. But I really love the people that I work with who really are trying to do with their life something special. And it's a choice, right? And so I appreciate you guys letting me be here. Once again, this is the examples, and I like, like Samir says one thing, I'll just disagree a little bit with it, and that is there is no luck here. He's not lucky enough. Everybody who kicks butt in this business and moves up, I will submit to you, the only luck that you had was somebody tapping you on the shoulder and inviting you to the first opportunity meeting. That was lucky, because it might not have happened. After that moment, and that happened to me 38 years ago, and I'm so fortunate that Naomi Kritsky invited me to the meeting. She quit 3 weeks later, and I'm the only person she ever hired, but I will always be grateful for her inviting me to that meeting so I could determine a direction in my life. So luck ends after you come to the op meeting. Then everything else after the op meeting is on you, learning, figuring this out, getting your head beat up, just, figuring out it's all new. It's all okay, great. But they always said, it's always been that preparation plus opportunity equals luck. So I would submit to you that everybody I just heard speak, and obviously trained by Samir and Shaq ultimately, is they weren't lucky. They prepared. And then they went out and saw people, which gave them the opportunity to use their preparation. Do you know how many people have done an IBA and that was the last thing they ever did at Primerica? And they're the experts in Primerica, tell you why it won't work. The challenge was, I'm telling you this after 38 years, not 38 days, 38 months, 3.8 years, that it's universal. I've never met someone who applied the rules of Primerica with an intensity about prioritizing as an urgency in their life that did not, A, get better mentally, help every other part of their life, including their personal life, their health life, just mentally, and ultimately, if they continue to do that, which is a choice, it's not everybody has excuses. We all got them. We can give ourselves the best ones because we got them. They're ours. But they've been able to go out there and actually change not just their life, but a generation. The generations of people in there, because this is not just a thing where you just do it and make money. Obviously, we help our clients, we can do amazing things, but it's always been about, to me, is what are you going to do with your life? And literally, you can set yourself up. I've been doing Primerica 38 years. I've only had to do it for 7. Think about that. After the first 7, the next 31 were volunteer, because I built something that with great successful leaders who wanted what I wanted. And if I could help them get what I wanted, Primerica would pay them and pay me, and we'd all win. Not everybody wants that. Everybody does it. Everybody's going to win. No. Everybody can win. I mean, it's a level playing field. It's numbers. It's not person. You think personalities do it, but it's numbers driven with personalities. And that's that person's such a great talker. They're so good. Awesome. But it's the numbers. So look, I look at what Rod did, and I'm like, damn, that's awesome. Not only his story is awesome, because I like everybody's story because they're individual, but to come into an environment that you took off slow, started slow, and then all of a sudden you make a decision in your life. And we all have those points in our life. It took me 3 months, it took me 6 months to go to district leader. Okay. And I 6 sales, 3 recruits, whatever it is, it's pretty much that's it. It took me, and I was full time for 3 of those months. So I sucked. Okay. However, I showed up to everything. I never missed a meeting. I'll give you a hint. I'm not telling you this is what you need to do. I'm just telling you this is what I did. I never missed a meeting for 7 years. You know why? Because I was scared I was going to blow this thing. Because once I figured this out, I knew this was the goose that was going to lay the golden egg for all the cocks to come after me. Okay? I knew it. I just wanted to make sure and I didn't want to make the mistake of number one, not showing up, which to me was always the easiest. Come from a fitness background. And the number one thing at a gym is show up. If you don't show up, even if that gym is in your basement, okay, if you don't show up, nothing happens. And so I learned that before Primerica, but it was a very simple, I could do it. I could show up. And I could get better. A little bit. Sometimes nobody else see me getting better, but I knew I was getting better. So Rod, I just think it's awesome. I hear your daughter's in there. That's the bomb, man. I mean, because I've now been, after 30 years, I've seen people who had no children who have come into Primerica, they get married, they have kids, and their kids go on to make 6-figure incomes and love it. I mean, so I've seen the generational movement. But I came in single, and I wasn't even dating anybody at the time. So I know what that's like a lot of folks there. And so, but what a great time to be in. You guys are in the perfect, and I'm not kidding, example of an environment that will allow you to be what you need to be or want to be or strive to be here. Okay. You do not lack mentorship. Oh my goodness. And I listen, Primerica is a great company, but not every office is run the way that you would look at for duplication. Some offices are meant for production. Awesome. People make money. But you guys are an environment that's made for duplication, transferring all the concepts to open offices. See, I came with that exact thing in mind in the beginning, even though I didn't know how that could happen. But I showed up and saw people who had it. Like Jen's getting ready to go, and then Rod comes in. Age group has nothing to do with it. It's here. So Rod comes in and busts every record in that number. And Shaq and Samir have been doing this a long time. And they say, well, why did Rod do that? I don't know. It's the first time I heard Rod. I know he's a talented guy. I know he's a smart guy. And I'm going to say, when I say smart, I mean, obviously he's an accountant, so he knows numbers. But I know a lot of accountants who quit Primerica, right? So I know a lot of people that were semi-successful or someplace else. Most people, I've never met anybody that had passive income unless they got it here. Jim mentioned that I make over $1 million. I actually make $1.6 million, 100% passive. 100% passive. I could be anywhere in the world and those checks are deposited. Now, did I start 100% passive? Of course not. I knew no one who ever did that. It's 120, 25 a month, 30, 40,000 a week. If I open my eyes, that's in my account. Why? Because I have a team. I have great teammates. I have a business. But when I came in, that was like the dream. I saw people who had that, but I noticed that everybody who had that, they started to get really good themselves. They showed up to everything. They got better. They got good enough to train so they could train over, and they just continued to evolve, and they all had it. It was a formula. It wasn't like they did it because there's 1,000 person, was 100,000 people, right? So 100,000 personalities in Primerica. But I'll promise you, if you look at successful people in Primerica, they all mechanically do about the same thing. They just do it with their personalities. So I'm shy, it doesn't matter. It is what you are. That's not what you're here. So you come to Saturday training and you hear these great people, and I want to go with Sheila, and I look at these people and I'm in awe. I just love it because I love to be around people that are striving, especially when I wasn't. It gave me courage. It gave me hope because, man, if you're going to do something special in your life, life's going to kick your butt. The minute you say you're going to do something that's different than anything that's ever been done in your life, get ready. There's a 2x4 coming at your head. You don't even know it's coming, but it's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. Because life is going to challenge your beliefs. That's how it works. If it wasn't, then everybody would win. And I would say about Rod, don't know Rod, other than what I heard from him. I know his numbers. That's all I need to know. Rod's a stud. Rod kicked butt. Rod made a change. And, there's something, he made a decision. And when you make a decision, let me give you something. You make a decision to be stronger than your excuses. Just remember that. That's what because everybody makes decisions, but their excuses are always stronger than their decision. So when you make a decision, and everybody makes different, and you decide to be stronger than whatever those excuses are, all of a sudden that decision gets traction. And I hope for you for that. Hustle out, hustling, working hard is the number one pillar of being wealthy. Number one pillar, just work hard. I mean, work ethic. I know it's weird if people say that's a weird word now, but are you kidding me? I don't know anybody. People inherit money. Okay, great. I checked my family tree. There was no checks coming in from the Kalk inheritance. I don't know about yours, but hey, nobody. I expected 0 checks to come without me doing something in my life. Nothing wrong with why I was brought up, but in the tree of money, we were the roots. Okay. Now, I have changed that in my generation. I have been able to do that because of Primerica, because of the mindset, and because of all those things. So byproducts of Primerica and this thing you think you're doing when you're new, you might say, I'm just doing this thing, are going to be mind-boggling if you apply what we're saying. So, Sheila, Jen, kick butt. I mean, going to be an amazing example of a RVP and all, why? Because they're in an environment where Shaq and Samir are an amazing example of leadership. And it's not something that you just hatched with. I'm saying, pinch yourself. You're fortunate enough to be in one of the top offices. We have 4,000 offices in Primerica. Like everything in life, they're all not unbelievable. Some are small, some are big. You are in the top out of 4,000. You're in the top 100. I mean, top, it's like everybody ever played the NBA. You're in the top 100 that have ever played this game. Now, does that, if you weren't, could you still win? Of course, because it's your business. It's your thoughts. However, when you're in that environment, you get there faster. Same hard work, you just get more from it. But you have to be aware of it. You know, if you grow up rich, like you're in a rich environment, you think everybody's like that. No, never take that for granted. Examples, people in front of you, all walks of life, race, creeds, colors, languages, whatever. Oh my gosh. And then Rod comes in at 61 and says, with a full-time job, 17-year-old, fairly young kids at 60, right? My daughters are in their late 20s, but that's, and he comes in, what does he do? Despite all that, he just kicks ass. He just does it. Why does he do it? Because he decided to stop making excuses for himself and say, my courage is stronger than my excuses. I have the courage to get better. And it takes courage. It's not like some mandate. And then what he did is apply the numbers, which he's already knows the numbers about the business, but he applied the numbers of the business, which is showing up to what? To the places that the winners are. Why? Because then you're accountable at a high level. I was in the fitness business many years ago, and I've still always been in that. I love that arena. You know why? Because the weights don't care where you come from. They don't care the color of your skin, the language you speak. Your mama didn't love you, your mama loved you. 50 pounds is 50 pounds. 500 is 500. How many times you lifted is all on you, man. Or whatever the thing you're doing in the fitness, right? It's a level playing field. But if you don't apply the numbers, I'll give you, somebody asked me, and I'll just give you an example. This because nothing changes. That's my point to you. This accountability is writing it down, showing up to Saturday. Awesome. But that's a gimme. Look, if you want to change, you're showing up Saturday. Next thing I would encourage you to do is say, how do I get to that Monday meeting? That's what I did. Because I wanted to know where the guys in the gym were in this Primerica gym that were the biggest and the strongest. Because if you work out with bigger and stronger people, you get bigger and stronger. That's how it works. And so I wanted to be in that environment. And I said, what do you got to do to be at that meeting? Do I have to be full-time? Well, I was part-time. They said, no, you just got to show up. It blew my mind that people didn't even show up when did I have to take off work? I changed everything to make that money. Because listen, it's taught, but it's so much caught. You catch this business, and then it allows you to be taught this business. Sometimes you can be taught all the numbers and not doing anything. But when I caught it, I knew I was at the right place. So, man, that was such a big deal. It allowed me then to really know the numbers, like not just the numbers, but the numbers, because I listened, I watched. It was the full-timers, right? It was the people that because I was part-time. I thought I wanted to be full-time, and I saw what they're doing and making money and all. And, a lot of times you don't learn from one person. It's like a gym. If you go to a big gym, there's a lot of different equipment for one body part, right? There's things for chest, things for that, things for whatever, legs. Why? Because you have to shock your body and come at different angles to continue to grow. That's what Saturday training is. That's what Monday is. You're working out the most important muscle, and I know it's not a muscle, but it's your mind. And it has to come from different angles. And left unto ourselves, we'll pretty much fall back to what we were. If you're here and you want to be here, let me tell you, if you're here, money, thinking here, and you want to be here, you must get around people that are here. And what's amazing about our business is that there's no pecking order here. It's not what school you went to, what college you didn't go to, all these things. What it is just being great at showing up. So I'll say to you this. I expect this March, and by the way, it's one day, the 7 days are on Monday, and then 30 days is the leaders sheets, right? That keeps us accountable. And if you're full-time, you know that. If you're part-time, you don't even know what that is. Figure out what that is. Get on them, because you can get on right now. And then we have the 90 days. And the 90 days, two things happen. It's where you figure out ultimately on the numbers, if everything you've been doing and working on starts to improve, starts to get better. So 90 days in this business is a big deal. That's why March is a big deal. That's why you stretching is a big deal in March, no matter what. And sometimes I never was at the top of the heap for a long time in Primerica, but I always wanted to be in the mix. I didn't want to be the weak link. So when they used to do 90-day things, and I didn't know what the hell to do, I said, you know what? I'm going to do my part. Tell me what I can do, because I love being a teammate, and I believe you got to be a great teammate before you can be a great team leader. That's what it is. So this 90 days, March is not just March. Everybody says March, it's spring. I got here and it was like 90 days. March was a big damn deal. And I began to understand because it causes you to stretch, not just in your thinking, but in your actions. And I want to be part of that. So I'd encourage every one of you that are on this thing, you might be new, figure out what part you can play in March. And that's not to grow their business. Honestly, it's to grow your business. Because how you do that, when you bring people on board, you'll be teaching them the next 90 days how to do that. Along with the first one day, Saturday, show up every the 7 days a week, and then the 90 days. So I know you guys are going to have an amazing March, and I also know that people like that spoke just earlier, and a lot of others on this call are going to lead. Right? You don't have to break a record every time, but you got to be in the hunt. So what's your number? And not a number that you think people want to hear. What can you say? You know what? I'm going to commit to that, and I'm going to have the courage to do the things required to get that. It's not a number, it's the activity of the number. So that's awesome, right? And then finally, the next thing and last thing is the school, man. Our school's coming. You heard, I think it was Sheila, I'm not sure, maybe it was Jen, but it was about a big event. Our next big event is after the 90 days. It will be in April. Man, look, gang, these are the things that are the core to winning. And all the other stuff that you don't know, you have experts in your face every day trying to help you understand that. But you have to run with the ball. You have to pick the weights up. I can take you to the gym. I can try to work out. But we have to pick the weights up. Because if I don't use the weights, the mental weights here, I don't get bigger, better, faster, stronger. But anyway, I'm just proud to be in business with you. I love working with Samir and Shaq and then the other leaders. Like I get calls from the leaders that are in your office, and I love it because they usually call me with great questions. They usually call me with like growth questions, and so that's what I want for you, right? And life is awesome, man. You can there's a chance to do what you want whenever you want with whoever you want. And it's a short time in your life to go kick some butt. So I appreciate it. I just love the fact of what Rod did. What Rod did to me is the hope of Primerica. And that an old guy did it, who's not really an old guy, chronologically, I love that. So, and by the way, I thought Samir would be at the top of the base shop forever. Obviously, Shaq had a different decision on that last month. I don't know what's going to happen this month. I know it's 1 month. It might have been a fluke. It might have been Shaq's team just got one over the goal line. But it was good to see Shaq step up to the #1 spot. And I don't know if that's permanent, but we'll love to see that. So anyway, all the best, champs. Love you guys. You got the whole world's in front of you, man. Go, go, go.
Shaq is about done with the op meeting, so let's go ahead and greet our guests and then stay around for the appointment setting so you can have a big team on 3. 1, 2, 3.